All right, today we're going to be working with the color wheel and some watercolor paint. So I've got my color wheel here and we're going to start out with our primary colors and then we're going to mix our secondary colors. So our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, and we're going to mix green, orange, and purple. What's great about the color wheel is that it is a key to mixing colors and to understanding color if you know how to read it. So for example, if I go back and show you, we have our primary colors. If I need green, green is going to appear on the color wheel between the two colors that it takes to make them. So here's green right between blue and yellow. So mixing blue and yellow will make green. Orange appears between red and yellow, and red and yellow mixed will make orange. Purple appears between red and blue. Mixing red and blue will make purple. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that right here on my paper. And we need two things to get started. We're going to be working on secondary colors, but we're also going to be working on value. So I'm going to draw a big circle and a long rectangle. My long rectangle is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in it, and my circle is going to have a big X in the middle, and then a line down the center. I drew that really quickly, but if you need to stop, just pause the video, catch up to this point, and then start the video again. This is going to be my color wheel. And this is going to be my value scale. Value is the light or darkness of a color. So I'm going to have light on one end and dark on the other, medium in the middle, and then I'm going to have medium light and medium dark. All right, let's get started. So to start, we're going to put our primary colors in. I've got my paintbrush. I'm holding it like a pencil. I'm going to get it wet. I often like to do a drop of water in each color to help it wake up. And then I'm just going to start with the lightest color and I'm going to wake it up by tickling, tickling, tickling. And then I'm going to choose a section of my color wheel and I'm going to paint that in yellow. I just always work from lightest to darkest. That way if my water gets dirty, it doesn't change the color of my lightest colors, because somebody in my class said that these colors, blue and red, are really strong colors, and that's true. They're very intense colors, and so it's hard. You just need a little bit to change the colors. So here we go. Let's tickle, tickle, tickle this red. I'm gonna skip a space. I wanna leave space for that orange that we're gonna mix later. I'm just gonna outline it just like I'm drawing with a pencil, and then I'm gonna drag and lift my paintbrush to fill it in. Okay. Hop, hop, hop. Wipe, wipe, wipe. And I'm gonna tickle that blue. Tickle, tickle, tickle. I'm going to outline it, and then I'm going to fill it in. Notice I skipped a space so that there's a white space between each primary color. That's where we're going to make our secondary colors. Alrighty. Hop, hop, hop. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Pat, pat, pat to make sure there's no color. There's just a touch of blue left in there. All right. Now, to make my secondary colors, remember, I told you this is a key. So I don't have to even know what color this is going to be to know how to mix it. I know that I need a lot of the lighter color and a little bit of the darker color. So I'm going to start with yellow. Oh, I almost forgot. One thing that I like to do to help this mix up is I like to put a little bit of water down on here. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you notice, the yellow spreads. And what that does is it just gives me more time, a little bit of red, gives me more time to add the second color. before it gets absorbed into the paper. And I can always add a little bit more, but I cannot take any paint away, so I can't erase the paint. So I always use a little bit first. The water offers the opportunity for the colors to mix up. So they can mix up and they can play together that way. If it gets too dark, I can add a little bit of yellow. Not dark enough, I can add a little bit more red. There's my orange. Hop, hop, hop. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Test, test, test. It's clean. So I'm going to do my other color that involves yellow. I'm going to get some yellow on here. Whoops, I think I need a little more water in there. I'm going to add my yellow here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Whoops, that might be too much blue. The water gives it time to play together. It makes it a little bit easier for you to mix it and spread it around. This is a pretty light yellow or yellow green, so I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it, and that'll make it a little bit more green. It's pretty green. Now, the more you learn about the color wheel, the more you'll learn that there's also another color in between the secondaries and the primaries. So this is green, but if I added more blue, I would get blue-green. And if I added more yellow, I would get more of a yellow-green. So those are called tertiary or intermediate colors. All right, now let's do the purple. Sometimes this is the trickiest one. Because red and blue are such powerful colors, it's sometimes hard to get the right amount. So I put a little red and I put a little blue, and I just mix them up in the water and let them spread out. There we go. And that's your color wheel. So this is a basic color wheel, just primary and secondary colors. Now I can show you how we're going to work with value. So when you're making the light and dark, it can really help you get control of your paint. I like to start out with water in all of these light ones, but not in the dark one. I think I'm going to use red. So I'm going to get some color from the red, and I'm going to paint on this one. This doesn't have any water in it, so that means that the color is going to be darker because there's not already water in the paper. So the color is just going right into the paper, nice and dark. This one has a little bit of water in it. I'm going to take some of that color off and add a little bit of water to my brush. So now I have more water and less paint. So it's going to get a little lighter. There's already some color in here. And if you notice, I'm getting less paint on my brush and there's more water in the paper. I think I need just a little bit more color right there. I'm not even going back to the paint. I'm just using the paint that's already there. Okay, so that's pretty good. I think this needs a little bit darker, so I can get this a little bit darker. And then this needs to be a little bit darker than that. Whoop, that might be too dark. And then this would need to be a little bit darker. All right, I think that'll do it. One way you can check your value is to compare two. So if you look at these two, they should be different. These two should be different. These two should be different. Oh, there's not a lot of difference there. And then these two should be different. And if I need to make my red just a little bit darker, I can add a tiny bit of blue to it, and it will make it even a darker hue. And there you go. We've got a value scale and a color wheel.